Today, I need to talk to a divine feminine who's been seeking answers, who's been just so thirsty trying to get the answers that they need. And it's difficult. You've had a lot of distractions. And some of you may have felt as though you keep messing things up. You keep trying to make things work out. The divine feminine that I need to speak to today, you've been in this sort of back and forth. You've been working so hard, striving to do good, to be good, and to even find some sense of fulfillment and maybe make some use of your divine gifts. But on the other hand, things have not have worked out the way that you hoped that they would. It's as though you pour all your time and energy into friendships, into loved ones, into your family, into your work, into even the things that you genuinely enjoy, and everything feels as though it's come up lackluster. Whoever it is that you are, however it is this message gets to you, you are so exhausted on the verge of tears. But I'm here to tell you today you're a little bit at risk of falling back on an old pattern. You are so close, divine feminine, to the answers that you seek. Your third eye has been guiding you, your heart has been guiding you, but you're at the risk of sliding back into an old habit where you need someone to rescue you. Now, the good news is there is something incoming. There is somebody incoming, and you're going to be able to find some supreme support through this revitalized community, this soul tribe, this group of people who are just passionate about they're passionate about the things that they do within life, but they're not completely awakened. There's a little bit of a twist with what's going on with you right now based on the timeline that you've walked into. You may have been looking for a supportive community and you will find some, but this community may not yet be awakened or not yet fully awakened. Don't be alarmed because there's a version of you that's going to feel tempted to sabotage this, to think that, well, they're not awakened, so I don't belong here. That's not true. You're being called to rise into the light, to just be who it is that you are. The past version of you has been seeking validation from others, hoping that if the group accepts me, I must be doing something correctly. But there's something different because you're becoming more independent. And when you're independent, you can just be yourself. Your mindset has changed. The way you think about life has shifted, but you're being encouraged right now to rethink what your story is supposed to be. Are you a victim or are you the victor? Because some of you are still feeling this tension. Why? Because you have fallen for the lies of false light, matrix programming, falling for manipulation. And I want to encourage you. You've been through some very difficult situations because you're a healer. But in order to heal it, you have to feel it. Because whoever this is going to be for, you're somebody who has been trying their best to find the solutions to your problems, trying to be there to help other people, and hoping that if I can heal this person, it means that there's proof that I can heal myself. You've actually had it backwards. There's a previous version of you that is being released. And if you haven't yet, it is time to release. You're starting to learn how to manage your masculinity, and your femininity, the aspect of you that needs to get shit done, that needs to, find solutions to the problem. But you've been going at it so hard that you've lost your way. It's like you've lost your masculinity, and it doesn't matter what your gender is. A lot of you guys are being pulled back, having to start considering what's going on from the inside out. If you've been struggling with relationships, marriages, partnerships that you just rushed into it thinking that this is going to be the one, this is everything that I asked for. And then realizing, yeah, this was the one that I was afraid of having. This has turned into a complete nightmare. And a lot of you could be worried that you walked into something that's unfixable. That's a lie. When you awaken, the worst part of being woken up is realizing that you had been asleep in the first place. Being encouraged to forgive yourself, have some compassion, and trust that whatever it is you're going through in this now moment, even if you do not have the solid answers, that you can learn to be receptive to the divine. Many of you have skipped over your emotions, just thinking, it, I can't even articulate what's going on. You've been so sensitive to your lizard brain, your reptilian brain, skipping over your emotions, skipping over how it is you truly feel. Because when we're stuck in these paradigms, it's because we've been trying to please other people, to prove to our parents that maybe we could uh, keep a marriage together, trying to prove to our friends that we're one of them, trying to prove something. And that's not feminine energy. There's an aspect of you that's asking to be healed, but you need to heal it by yourself and in some ways withdrawing yourself and being comfortable with knowing maybe you have the answer. The most difficult thing, divine feminine, that you're going to be struggling with right now is realizing you had the correct answer this entire time and you've been going against your intuition. You thought that intuition was the devil and you thought that the ego was your intuition. And if this has reached you today, and if this is somehow making sense, you know that this message is for you. You've been putting on a show, you've been trying to be there for people. You know what? There's nothing wrong with being the light, but your story has been corrupted. Nobody knows what you stand for. I think some of you probably don't even know what you stand for. And so many of you have been waiting for the knight in shining armor, the as though a sign from heaven will come down and tell you the answers. But here's the thing, you've had the answer this entire time. All of your answers are from within. You're being encouraged at this time. Don't seek out validation from your partners. Don't seek out validation from the media. Don't seek out validation from your parents, your coworkers, or your friends. All of them have been stuck dealing with the same problem. And if they've been irritated with you or giving you bad advice, or even just getting irritated that you can't take their advice, it's because you've been around the blind who's been leading the blind. You've been around people who haven't learned how to get out of these circumstances. And they basically give you advice on how to be okay with pain, how to tolerate mediocrity, how to have a sense of humor that nothing will ever change. This has reached you today, divine feminine. You have all the answers that you need. You know you need to make some changes because you've asked for it. You've genuinely asked for a sign from the universe, and here it is. There is a vehicle that is getting ready to pick you up and move you. And it's going to be so important to release whatever it is that needs to be released. This may be a painful process for some of you, for those of you who still want to cling to the old life, but the universe would not send you this level of angelic intervention unless you were ready for it. You're ready for this. You've been trying to go out and make things happen, and the universe is saying, climb on in, sit back, and enjoy the ride. It's going to be so important during this time. Just let go of things associated with your past. Some of you are going to be moving. Others of you are going to be going through some very painful, albeit maybe embarrassing breakups. Others of you just need to get rid of some old garbage that you've been holding from past relationships. What is the point of holding on to the past when you can't even make space to welcome in things from the future? You're just being asked to make space for love, make space for money, make space for opportunity. Some of you have been, I'm sorry to say, hoarding energies because you've been afraid of being abandoned, afraid of being left behind, afraid that if you let it go, there'll be nothing there to replace it, and that is a lie. There is something within your physical home you're being asked to throw away. The first thing that comes to mind is exactly what it is that you need to remove. Either return it back to the person from which it came, and if that is impossible or makes no sense, throw it away. Don't even karma cycle it. You need to throw it away. Because when you cut cords with the object, you're going to be surprised with what the universe is going to fill in your life. And some of it may feel devastating at first. You got to trust the process. Anything that's getting removed from your life at this time has been divinely orchestrated. You are so divinely protected. Can you trust that? Can you trust that you're safe? Can you trust that this is the right thing for you when you tap into the big picture? You are made of love. You are a divine creation. Someone had the free will decision to bring you into the world, and you have your own free will decisions on what it is that you get to do based on that decision. You have choice, and you can either choose to resist the change or accept the change because you've asked for this. If you're ready for this, say, I am ready. I am safe. I trust the universe with what is going to happen next. I trust that I am love. I trust that I am safe. I'm going to trust the adventure that the universe is going to be taking me on. I'm going to trust the next steps within my path.